Namaskar and welcome. My today's subject is Sangam age golden period of Tamil culture. In my previous videos, I have argued that the religious and cultural elements along with the society found in Tamil Brahmi and Sangam literature does not match up. In a continuation of this, let us move to check the facts. Since from second half of the 19th century, Tamil scholars have argued that the Sangam literature was product of illiterary wandering parts of Tamilagam created before the sufficient and significant influence of Northern Aryan and Vedic culture and religious practices. This opinion is so deeply rooted that even after clearing contradiction for this within the Sangam literature, it is accepted without question. It is argued that the northern culture rituals were totally absent in Sangam, Tamilagam, that is the Tamilagam during the Sangam era, and the culture of common people was far away from all such influences. Keeping all these opinions and outside influences, let us ourselves look into the facts. First, we have to ask which Dravidian gods, goddesses, which Dravidian rituals were accepted, propagated, fostered, and supported by Tamil kings during Sangam era. This is because the patronage of the king flows down and will be imitated by others. Even in modern times, we can easily separate local deities, rituals, practices from those of the upper classes and Vedic culture. This has to be very sharp and clear in the Sangam period. The main local god of the hills is Muruga in Sangam literature. How is Muruga pictured in Sangam literature? When a teenage girl encounters and falls in love with a teenage boy from mountain or from fishing community, she loses interest in all her daily activities in expectation of his union. Mother of the girl observes this and supposes that she has been possessed by mountain god Muruga. She calls Velan, the priest of Muruga, to get rid of the deity from her daughter. Velan sacrifices animals, throws the blood and dances with offerings to Muruga to leave the girl alone. The friend of the girl knows that her friend is not possessed by Murugan, but by her lover from mountains, and the Velan does not have the medicine for it. Except this, much is not said anything about the Murugan. All details available are for his priest Velan. In Sangam poems, Kotrave, the female goddess, has been referred, but details does not go beyond naming. The Sangam literature does not have any significant myths, stories, rituals of a pure Dravidian nature. Instead, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Krishna, Balrama, Shiva are adorned. No element which is now recognized as Dravidian finds any place in Sangam literature. If any such element is found, very rarely it has to be seen with lenses exaggerated. Even though the evidences are against illiterate borrowed origin of the Sangam literature is abundant, it has been so much brainwashed that the facts are not accepted. The contribution of Brahmins to Sangam literature is nearly 50%. Brahmin poets of Sangam age did neither waited outside the fort gates of the kings nor begged at the backyard gates of the palaces or homes for gifts and donations. They authoritatively took donations from the king. They did not wish the king, but they blessed him when he bowed in front of them. This is clearly visual in Sangam literature. Out of 473 Sangam poets, Sangam bards, 160 bards having names of northern Aryan background could be traced. Vinnattanar Vishnu, Chattanar Shasta Sartha, Kannarar Krishna, Ilankannanar Balakrishna, Chadevanar Sahadeva, Ariyara Arachan Yalp Piramattan, Arya Raja Yal Pramata, Naga Naganar Nagayar, Bhuta Pudanar Putattanar, Deva Devanar, Rudra Uruttiranar, Nalurutiranar, Lochana Ulochanar, Damodara Damodaranar, Kumar Kumarnar, Skanda Kandanar, Rudranetra Uruttin Kandanar, Karavira Karaviranar, Gananayaka Kanakayan, Skanda Krishna Kanda Kandanar, Kapila Kabilar, Bhutanatha Pudanadanar, ಆತ್ರೇಯ ಅತ್ತಿರಯ್ಯನಾರ್ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಕಾಪ್ಯನಾರ್ ಕಾಮಕ್ಕಣ್ಣಿ ಕಾಮಾಕ್ಷಿ ಕಾಮಮಾಲಿನಿ ಕೇಶವ ಕೇಶವನಾರ್ ಗೌತಮ ಕೋದಮನಾರ್ ಸಂಘವರ್ಣ ಚಂಗವರ್ಣಾರ್ ಶ್ರೀಧಾಮ ತಿರುತ್ತಾಮನಾರ್ ದೇವಕುಲ ದೇವಕುಲತ್ತಾರ್ ದೇವ ದೇವನಾರ್ ಮೇಧಾವಿ ಮೇಧಾವಿಯಾರ್ ಪದ್ಮ ಪದ್ಮನಾರ್ ಭರಣ ಪರಣರ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಚಾರಿ ಪಿರಮಚಾರಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ್ ಪಿರಮನಾರ್ ಚಿತ್ರ ಚಿತ್ತಿರನಾರ್ ಬೋಧನ ಪೋದನಾರ್ ಕೌಶಿಗ ಕೋಚಿಗನಾರ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಚಾರ್ಯಾರ್ ಪೆರಂಕಣ್ಣನಾರ್ மகாபர்வதவாசி மாமல்லனார், மூல மகாமூல மாமூலனார், பிரபந்த பிறப்பந்தனர், வால்மீகி வான்மீகியார், பூதி பூதியார், வீதி வீதியார், மாரமாறனார், சத்யநாத சத்தியநாதனார், தத்த தத்தனார், யக்னாச்சாரியா வேளாச்சன், அச்சுத நல் அச்சுதனார், மகாசதி மாச்சாத்தியார், மகாதீர்த்த மாதீர்த்தனார், ஆதியன் ஆதிதேவ, விஷ்ணு தாயனார் விஷ்ணுதாசா, சாண்டில்லா சாண்டிலியனார், கோவர்தன கோவர்த்தனார். All these names suggest the poets are the bard from non-Tamilian origin. Brahmin poet by name Kapilar has sung 28 songs in 100 songs in Kurunuru, 18 songs in Agananuru, 28 songs in Purananuru, 10 songs in Paditrupattu, 20 songs in Natrinai, 29 songs in Kalitwagai, totaling 233 songs, which accounts to 10% of the Sangam corpus. Except in Paripadal collection, Kapilar is everywhere. Among 68 songs belonging to Kurinchi Tinai, 60 songs are sung by Kapilar. As Padikam mentions, Kapilar has sung Kurinchi Pot to teach customs of Tamil love marriage, Kurpu to Aryan king, Pirhadan, that is Bruhadatta. In many places, Brahmin poets have recognized themselves from their gotras. கௌதமன் சாதேவனார், செல்லூரு கோச்சிகன் கண்ணனார், மதுரை கவுனியன் பூதத்தனார், கோடிமங்கல வாதுளே நற்றிந்தனார் recognizes themselves belonging to Gautama, Kaushika, Kaundinya, Vaduli, Brahmana Gotras. Thus, Brahmin poets, not only through Sangam poems, but also by their Vedic rituals, control the Tamil kings. In Purananuru too, Murunjiyor Mudinaganar informs King Cheraman Perunchorto, Udiyan Cheraladan, about the strict religious adherence of the Brahmins, sleeping at the mid of the three sacrificial fires at all the night. Through this, he withholds the supremacy of the Brahmins and their rituals. In Purananuru 43, an interesting incident has been mentioned. When playing dice, Cholan Nalankili, the Chola king, throws dice on Brahmin bard Tambaral Kandanar. Then the bard says, ஐயம் உடையேன் ஆர்ப்பனை தெரியல் நின்முன்னோர் எல்லாம் பார்னோவனா செய்யாளார் மொற்று நீர்த்தோ நினக்கு என வேறொப்புக கூறி. Meaning of this is, I have doubt whether you belong to the clan of the Cholas who wore mountain flower garlands. None of your ancestors humiliated the Brahmins like this. Do you really belong to the clan of the Shibis? In Purananuru 6, bard by name Kari Kilar advises Panar Pandian Palyaga Chalai Mudukudimi Piravadi that Tranga Perum Ninchendri Chiranda Nanmarai Munivar Yenduka Yedre. The meaning of this is that, O king, let your proud head bow below the raised hands of the rishis who knows four Vedas. In Purananuru 9, Nettimayar praises and lists the virtues of this king. He says that when Palyagachalai Mudukudimi Peravadi went to war, he first declares protection to the cows, Brahmins, women who do not have male children, the people living in the south, those who are performing the Vedic rituals. Here, we have to note that the common people who are not involved in the war are not protected by the king. Nettimayar informs us that Peravadi was the pattern of Vedic rituals and gives a description of the Upastambas, that is the sacrifice poles, yaga, yagna, and the smoke rising from the sacrificial fire. In Purananuru 183, Ariyappadai Kadanda Nedunchalian informs us that about the existence of Varna system in Sangam society. He says, even though the brothers are born through the same womb, love of the mother is towards the son who achieves. King chooses the man of the merit even though they belong to the same society. In spite of four divisions, the upper born approaches the lower born to learn from him. The merit surpasses the Varna. In this song, four Varnas of the Aryan division, the higher position of the Brahmins is mentioned. Tamil scholars, while discussing this song, argued that this is referred to the northern Vedic based social division and not of the Tamil concept. But here Singh is the king, Pandyan king. In Purananuru 125, Marokattu Nappachalayar informs that in this vast world, Brahmin Kapilar of high intellect has praised you and had the gifts and donations such that none has the further scope for it. In this, Brahmin superiority above the others has been acclaimed and Varna system is recognized. In Purananuru 26, Mangudi Marudanar, while singing and praising Pandian Talayalangana Charavendra Nadunchalian, acclaims that, O king, when you are in the fierce battle with the enemies, the Brahmins who know Vedas and ethics will surround you and perform rituals for you. If you observe this song, it is very clear that Brahmins were performing rituals on behalf of the king before going to the battle. In Purananuru 221, Pottiyar praises the land ruled by Kopperin Cholan as Tugalloru Kedvi Vayarndor Pukkil. That means it is the home where those who know the errorless Vedas enter. In Purananuru 224, Karunkulal Adana recognizes Cholan Karikalan Peruvalatan as Veda Veli with Tolil Muditadavum. That means that great one who performed and completed all Vedic rituals. In Purananuru 361, Kayamanana endorses this and go further and declares that ನಿನ್ನ ವರವ ಅಂಜಿಲನ್ ಮಾದು ನನ್ಪಲ ಕೇಳ್ವಿ ಮುಟ್ರಿಯ ವೇಳ್ವಿ ಅಂಡಣ್ಣರ್ಕು ಅರಂಗಲಂ ನೀರೋದು ಚಿದರಿಪ್ಪ ಪೆರುಂದಗೈದು. This means that, O Lord of Death, our king is not feared by your arrival, since he has donated pearls and jewels to the Brahmins who performed Vedic rituals properly. Thus, he declares that those who gift and donate Vedic Brahmins need not fear for death. In Paditrupattu 24, Kolamadanar introduces King Cheramannan Palyanaichal Ulukuttuvan as the head of the large army who ruled as per the advice of the Brahmins who follow the six traditional customs of reading, performing Vedic rituals for others, donating, receiving. Here, in praise of the king, the poet establishes the right of the Brahmins for rituals and receiving donations and gifts. In Paditrupattu 74, Arichil Kilar gives vivid description of yaga done by Cheraman and Perin Irumparai for want of male child. Since the details of this Putrakameshti yaga is described in picturesque perfect poetry, I will not go into it now, but I will discuss in other video. Tamil kings depended upon Vedic rituals done through Brahmins to have male children. In Pura 362, Churuven Thierayar describes a scene in a house where the person is going to war. In the background of the beating drums, the person is surrounded by relatives. He is gifting and donating to the Brahmins. In Discuss Payasto, Churuven Thierayar says that, "Oh Brahmins, this is not correct. This has not been told in Vedas. This is all materialistic. You are bewitched and confused. The water poured ritually while donating good growing fields, grains has reached the sea. This clearly indicates let it be time of battle or death. Some Brahmins were receiving donations without any remorse." In Paditrupattu 21, Cheramannan Palyanai Chelgalu Kuttuvan has been praised by Bard Palai Keladamanar. Bard lists five superiorities of the Brahmins through which they worship gods. He admires the smoke which rises above when the rituals are performed by them for good of mankind. He accolades the Brahmins, recognizing their five qualities, such which include teachings, commentaries, astrology, Vedas, and insightful worship. Cherumanna Nadakkotu Pattu Cheraladan, who had the epithet of Vanavaramban, which means that who rose to the sky, snatching the goats from the Dandaranya, gift them to the Brahmins along with grey colored cow and a village in Kudukunadu. Chelvakadungo Valiyadan performed all Vedic rituals, had Vandan as his guru, guide, and gave Oganduru with paddy fields for Brahmins who performed Vedic rituals. He was the one who surpasses his guru in donating. This clearly shows that as Brahmadeya villages were donated to the Brahmins during Sangam era. In Purananuru 63, when Kapilar takes daughters of Pari to Iringove, he introduces himself as Tandai Tolan, Ivar and Magalir, Andanan Pulavan, Kunduvandanane. That is the father of these girls is my friend. I am learned Brahmin who have brought them to you. Here, in self-introduction, Kapilar clarifies that he is the learned Brahmin. In Paditrupattu, describing the great qualities of Chelvakadungo Valiyadan, the bard says, Parpaku alladu manipu ariyalaye. The meaning of this is, except to Brahmins, you go to none. The bravery and respect to the Brahmins are listed as the great qualities of the king. In Purananuru 122, when Kapilar, Brahmin bard, went to Tirumudikari, he reminds him that your land is that of the Brahmins who are protecting the flames of the Vedic rituals. Except your wife, who is like Arundhati, everything you have is to be donated and gifted to the others. None belongs to you. In other instances, the list of the great virtues of Chelvakudungo Valiyadan include the pearl and diamond donations made to Brahmins whose tongue has recited traditional Vedas by pouring water. He also says that when the Brahmins agreed to receive the gifts, water poured when donating made the ground wet. In Sangam literature, 32 female birds are known. Among them, Avayar is the most celebrated one. Avayar, while praising Adiyamananji, says that unable to encounter your foot soldiers, enemies ran away. Those who died encountering you escaped from disgrace. For those who died without these were laid over in the grass bed and cut by the Brahmins who ensured heaven for those died in the battle. In Sangam age, it was believed that the dying without wounds was a disgrace. Therefore, when those who did not participate in the battle died either naturally or by disease, to make them as though they were wounded in battle, Brahmins were called for. Brahmins laid the corpse on grass bed, performed rituals, and wound the corpse to mimic the battle. Therefore, Brahmins played key role through performances and rituals in ensuring the afterworld for those who died without battling. Avaya reminds Cholan Iraja Chuyam Vetta Perun Nalkilli, Pandian Karaperil Ukkira Peroldi, Cheraman Mavengo, all the three kings of the Tamil region, call the suitable Brahmins who in control of their senses, who perform three flames rituals in groups and pour gold to them in donation. Perunalkelli Pandian Kanperil Ukkira Peluvaldi had performed the Rajasuya Yaga as per the directions of the Brahmins. OIR clearly informs that Panars and Viralis of the lower caste OIR clearly informs that Panars and Viralis of the lower caste bards got gifts by entertaining the king through their art, dance, and praise. Maravars got their part in loot by fighting for the kings. But Brahmins had the right to receive donations through their Vedic ritual performances. From the songs of the OIR, it is clear that the Brahmins were successful to convince and control Tamil kings that to die in the battlefield was their duty and the way to acquire place in heaven. Brahmins ensured this through Vedic rituals. When Avayar sees all the three Tamil kings, Chola Niraja Choyam Vetta Perunalkilli, Chola king, Pandian Kanperil Ukki Peralavudya the Pandya king, Cheraman Mavenga the Chera king, she compares them to resemble the three flames of the Yagna ritual of the Brahmins. In Purananuru 166, a bard by name Mulak Kilar praises Brahmin named Chonato Punkatruru Parpan Kaunian Vindantayan, that is Vishnu Dasa of the account in Yagotra, as Brahmin of knotted head hair, hanging Yagnopavita, who knew four Vedas, six Darshanas, a person who could perform difficult Vedic rituals, whether place be a village or forest, and his wife who supports him in all his rituals. Bard sings, I had nice food at your house once. Now I will go to your village on the banks of Kaveri river. This Brahmin Vishnudasa is unlike other Brahmins. Instead of praising the kings, earned his name by Vedic performances. Not only in receiving gifts, Brahmins were in forefront of politics and acted as the mediators between the warring kings is known through the songs of Madurai Velachan, that is Madurai Yagnacharya. The bards of the lower caste did not guard this privilege. Many argue that there is no caste system in the Sangam literature, proves it to be ancient. If such things are not seen in poems, does not provide the proof for their absence. In Kurinchi Patu, it is said that Koduppin Nangu Udamayum Kudiniral Udamayum Vandamum Tunayum. That means while giving daughters in marriage, Kula Varna Kutumba shall match. Here the Varna is not the economic class but the social division. In none of our oral tradition, the prominence and supremacy of the Brahmins, their Vedic rituals have been sung like this. With all these facts, we could safely say that Sangam literature is not the product of the wandering, begging bards, but those of the kings in the court. All Tamil kings of the Sangam age were performing Vedic sacrifices and rituals. This was followed by their inheritors who recorded them on the copper plates and the stone inscriptions. They gave Brahmadeya for Brahmins, respected them, and seeked their blessings and advice. There is no proof nor trace in Sangam literature that the Tamil kings of the Sangam age neither patronized nor promoted any Dravidian religion or culture, even though here and there, in a very negligible way, non-Vedic religious elements could be seen with a great effort. Even after these evidences, if you say Tamil kings patronized Dravidian culture, we will be in denial and delusional mood and facing away from the internal evidences of the Sangam literature. Lastly, in Agananuru 86 and Agananuru 136, Kilar and Vitrutu Mudeyaina turns to Aryan legends and myths for fixing the auspicious time for marriage against the union of moon and the Rohini star in Shakata constellation. Thus, pure Tamil culture fades away in life of common peoples also. In the next video, let us see how Sangam Tamil kings, bards accepted, adored, and sang and recognized themselves with the non-Dravidian divinities, legends, and myths. Namaskara and goodbye. Namaskara and thank you.